One definition could be doing what your pastoral associate dobs you in for. I think collaborative ministry is involving the parish in the life of the parish. It's not me working with the pastoral associate, or it's bigger than that. It's trying, and I think that reflects in our parish prayer when we pray that we may be a vibrant and a vital Christian community. That we as a parish, not this person or that person.
I've learnt to interpret it myself, to understand it as the community sharing and taking responsibility itself for the whole life, faith life, and service and worship of the community together.
For me, collaborative ministry is a given, really. I think there's so many reasons why it needs to be, both theologically, culturally, and also out of respect for the gifts and education of the parishioners. And from a priest's point of view, it means that I don't make the parish decisions, but that we make the parish decisions together. And theologically, we've all been baptised into ministry and mission, so we're all part of church. We are the church. Vatican II had a lot to say about the people of God and how we are part of the church, and therefore we're all part of the growth of the church, the call of the church and the ministry of the church. And certainly culturally, we live in a day when everything has to be transparent and open. Everybody expects to be consulted, to be part of things. So I think as church we need to respect that way we work today. And certainly the third one, out of the gifts, there are many gifts in our communities, and they ought to be part of looking forward. We just had recently last year a looking forward process with over 60 people gathered for a day to see where do we go with our vision and hope for the future. And I think that's what collaborative ministry is about.
Empowering the people in the parish to come forward in their own ministries, to come forward with their own gifts. We're in the background supporting them. That's what I think collaborative is empowering people, giving them a voice and encouragement to continue what they're doing.
I've always tended through my teaching profession to be an upfront, out there leader, but I have learnt over the years that sometimes the best leadership is definitely upfront, collaboratively say, come on, let's all do this together. Sometimes it's in the middle because there are tensions within the way the community's seeing or wanting to live out itself. And often it's stay at the back because they're doing a really nice job. Don't clutter this up. Collaboratively, these people are taking responsibility for this area or that area or whatever, so affirm them in that.
Well, for us here in this parish, which is now two communities, St Ambrose's and Our Lady Help of Christians, we've come together in the last couple of years, and we're two quite different cultures in the two communities. That's one aspect. So it's the merging of those two communities, and it's how we get along and how we can look at each other's aspects of the two different communities, how we can pull together a common result.
In our leadership team, we do have a model for collaborative ministry, so that each member of the leadership team has a portfolio. And I guess you could visualise that in the shape of a cross, where each point of the cross has a different form of ministry. We have worship at one point of the cross, we have community and all the activities of a community, we have proclamation, and we have service. So each one of those points of the cross are very important within our leadership team, and we all hold those different ministries. And at the heart of the cross, we are in communion for mission, and that's our vision, that we are a community in communion for mission, and that we radiate out to each of those points.
I sent lots of emails and to people, could you please come to this one mass so we can commission everyone, and And the more emails I sent, the more emails I needed to send. And then when I looked, I thought, I think there's more groups than there are parishioners, or there just seemed to be. And we had this lovely big mass, and Tony got up and said this lovely commissioning bit and got everyone to come up. And I just felt like it was the whole church got up on there. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
It's great having all the numbers, but it falls through a bit too, because at the parish council last night somebody brought up the issue. We have these people who are given their name, they're rostered, but then people don't turn up, or they don't connect somebody to, I'm going to be away for the next one. Because, quite a few of our parishes now have gone overseas, the warm weather, they're not sticking around.
The creative tension is helping people to be a holistic group. People who've been doing a particular ministry can often be just over there doing their ministry, which is very wonderful, but not always connected with each other and seeing the whole picture. Involving the younger families and the older people in getting some kind of sense of intergeneration. That to me is a challenge for St Francis Xavier St Clair.
The main tensions can arise around possibilities for looking for new things that emerge, and having the capacity to let go, of old habits and expectations. And I say that especially in regard to the amalgamation of the two parishes. I think it's quite difficult to let go of things that have been really precious to people in order to take up the opportunities that are presented by joining up with a new community, as John mentioned before.
Lately I found when I start to think aloud, there's a longing in the sound, there is more I could.
Sometimes I get up in the morning, or I'm going home after a day in parish ministry, and I ask myself that question, are you mad or what?
I suppose the question is, why do I do it with the sense of collaborative ministry, of working with others? 2 heads are better than 1, 3 heads are better than 1, 4 heads are better than 2. I think it really is, and it's reflected in our parish prayer. It's about building community, and you don't build it around one person. Well, the one person, if you're building it around, is the person of Jesus. It's not the person of the priest. It's not the cult of the priest or the cult of the pastoral associate. So it's about building community which is focused in and around him. Otherwise, if you try to do it all yourself, not only do you burn out, but it's about the cult of you. It's about us. And I think trying to have, and try to be faithful to the vision, because sometimes you think, oh look, it'd be easier if I did it myself, it'd be done quickly in the way I want it to be done. But it's not the easiest way sometimes, but I think it's the only way.
For me, it's about encouraging those positive relationships. But I can't make someone have a relationship. It's not my job. Encouragement, I think, encouragement with a capital E, I think, for me. And yes, and then this is a beautiful thing about, I think, collaborative ministry is where, it sounds a bit twee, but we are on the road, we're travelling the same road, we're on the road together. I don't feel, lay people here, priests up here. I think, we're walking together, side by side. We're people together.
That I really have a great sense of the love of church as God's people in community, not each of us necessarily individually, but that to find that place of Christ in the people gathered. I come to life with people. They gather with me and they give me life, they give me their faith, and I hope I'm transferring something to them.
Why do I do collaborative ministry? I think it's, for me, I can come to a meeting with questions and hopes and not have to come to a meeting with answers and defined plans.
I believe in parish life, and as the Second Vatican Council said so beautifully, the hopes and the dreams and the griefs of the people of God are the hopes and the dreams, that drive me on, I suppose.
I'd like it to look like not a triangle or a pyramid, but to look like a circle. We probably have in our history the idea of the pyramid in the parish, with the priest at the top giving directions downwards. Whereas I think collaborative ministry is when it's the circle. When we're gathered around the circle, around theoretically, symbolically, around the table of the Word and the table of the Eucharist. The priest has his function, but he's part of the community, he's part of the circle.